I've got Gayge and Junior on the way here.
Perfect.
So, port sender has been. Oh yeah, you saw it. That fucking.
Yeah, I came around. I seen it with my own eyes.
Jason fucking crushed that.
No, she did. I don't know, I'm not gonna like psychoanalyze people that I haven't really interacted with too much, but she has the like, bad day doesn't keep her down type energy,
Yes.
Like she had a dog shit opening and she wasn't pressed at all, and I was ready to, console and blah, blah, blah. She didn't need it. She just needed like advice. That was very can-do attitude.
She's one of the few people that it's a rare trait. It's hard to find. There's not a lot of organizers and leaders in San Andreas. Like, you have to kill to find them. You know what I mean? And she's definitely one of them.
Yeah, 100%. I can see it Thursday.
So I had a chat with Bruce Baylor, and I want to get your perspective on this. But the long and short of it is, he's got a bit of a history, right, with real estate. And I think some of that has kind of largely ruined his reputation, or it did for some time. Even for myself, I've had issues with him up until I've worked with him a little bit more, right? And more recently, those cops? Yeah.
It looks like it.
Yeah, there was some shit going off the other side of Senior Buns.
Another usual day at Senior Bun.
Recently, he's been hitting a age-old issue where police are selfish. I honestly, every day I hate the cops more. Except, like, I fuck with some of them, but some of these guys are just fucking brain damaged. They don't quite understand, let's say, the problem about prices fluctuating, right? So Bruce is hitting an issue where effectively, the PD is calling him a scammer for selling parts, like, for parts now, right? But the first question I would have is, do you believe there's any truth to it, given his recent history? That would be, I guess, might be my first question, if you have any information on that. But based on what he's telling me, it seems like one of those cases where PD is expecting shit to remain at the lowest possible cost. Like, in other words, if someone happens to be randomly selling something for $30,000, they're expecting that to be the baseline price, even though with the way he's opening boxes and the percent rate and the amount he's putting in, it's going to be higher. And this is despite PD gets their shit for free, more or less.
Honest opinion, I think Bruce Baylor is a scammer. And hold on though, I think that he is a businessman who like is too business and kind of almost maybe not lacks empathy, but just too business for my tastes, right? In the nicest term.
I can see that.
But the PD are like, little glass men and women in a little glass house, where if it's not how they think it should be, they get upset and confused and dazed. And even when I do stuff with them, I think because I try and do things in the opposite way that he does, they just see me as like a more preferable option. But the reality is, if I have to raise the price for whatever reason, that's the price. Like, I'm not gonna fuck myself over. So I like, even when I try and do things, they'll question me and I explain it. But I think someone with his type of, maybe like his standards,
he provides like the data and not the cushioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These people
I can
just
see that.
don't like being like contradicted. They don't like their worldview being challenged. They don't like feeling like they're being taken advantage of, because they feel like they're just being taken advantage of. And the reality is, like, they deserve to just be cut off. What we should do in like all seriousness is just teach them that independent business people, conglomerates of businesses, all that, like, if you don't want to do business with us, well, bad luck. Go and do it yourself. And they'll quickly find that they can't.
Well, and that's kind of what happened. And as a consequence, I have convinced him to give us all his stage 4s and 5s, and we'd be his primary dealer for it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's just the best way forward because what it does is it adds regulation and consistency to someone that's going to sit there and try and look at the data and extract the most funds out of that data. Like, it's better to be in control of someone like that than let them have free reign.
It gets me like incredibly annoyed only because like we increased the PD rate to 3,500, which may not. But the thing is, like, it's the age-old. Cops don't recognize that they don't really have. They get 3,500. No, every second they're on duty, right? And there's the age-old comparison of like, oh, I heard that you can get $10,000 an hour doing tow, right? But no one's doing tow for 12 hours, right? No one's robbing banks for 12 hours straight, right? So in a way, it evens out, and the PD gets subsidized on this and that, and it's just really frustrating. So I figure it removes that gap. It makes his life easier, and in turn, that's a boon for everybody, right? Because there's probably people out there like non-cops, people that don't have connections that probably want those stages and 4s and 5s, and now they can get it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, people are always going to take things to the extremes in either way. And someone like Bruce, for all his faults and I think his blemishes on character, can get the supply that the city needs. I don't think he should be the sole distributor. I don't think that it's healthy for that. But if you can take that off him and then turn that into a positive, who cares that he's lining his pockets more than, let's say, I would, right? And that's not because I'm a superhero. I'm not. It's just... people are always going to do that shit, and you know, you don't get to take the moral high ground, right? Like, just because I'm saying all these things doesn't change the fact that we need people like Bruce. Just like you need motherfuckers that are gonna, you know, sit there and be police all day. Like, we need everybody, right? Everybody has a part to play. But yeah, the PD just be bitching about everything, right? Like they do. They spend all their equipment state of the art, all provided. Their cars a lot of the time are like pretty much the only thing they have to maintain, and food, and then just any expenses, you know, the luxuries they want to buy. You know, like, they don't get fined during work. They don't have any expenses other than food and their vehicle, which is not what it's like for the rest of us. And I'm not saying that as a criminal, right? Like, oh, boohoo, I got fined $300,000 yesterday. But I just think they lack the depth of understanding that an ordinary citizen has. Like someone like Junior, who I think for a majority of his time in the city has made no money per hour, even though he's been trying his best to make things happen. Like,
yes,
I provide his you know, his events, we just do like for free now. He just pays me all the profit. That's the type of business we have to do, where we just sit there as you know, as two guys and be like, all right, I'll let you use the booth that I could charge you for, and he says I could make money off the food, but I'll just give it to you, and that's how we have to run it.
I think this is the difference, though, bro. Me and you have that understanding that what we're doing is actually trying to benefit the city. Some people just want to only purely benefit themselves. They just have that tunnel vision of, I'll be honest, when people first came to town, shit was tough, and shit was, getting money was fucking tricky. And I think some people are still stuck with that same mentality of just looking after number one and not really realizing around them what they're doing is affecting everyone else and potentially affecting the rest of Los Angeles. And I just think it's a shame that there's not more people willing to reach out and help people.
It was the exact same for me. When I first joined the city, I worked for this terrifying little gangster. Luckily, it has slowed down since.
Yeah, it's I think moving on to the next thing, because I think we are probably sharing a very common like position here. You know, this all gets these guys off their back, and if he is getting harassed, whatever, I say, listen, bitch, go to the court center, go buy it over there. You know what I mean? You get a discount too, and then just slap their ass. Next thing I want to bring up is we're going to be moving. We're going to open up distilleries in Los Santos County. We're just awaiting an update to the moonshine license, and those distilleries are going to be civilian brewers only. And those distilleries and brewmasters will operate at a court center in a segment there, thus making it so that mall security have a active task, have a active like job. So, and we all know where those stills are. So I think that's actually going to be fucking cool as shit, to be honest.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, Nino, you ever heard of what the kids do nowadays? Is they steal like AC units off rooftops? You ever heard about that? Yeah, so when, you know, I've heard that there's like these employed security guards. They got little nightsticks, and if, you know what I'm saying, they hit hard, right? So people sneak around on rooftops, and sometimes they get their ass beat by a security guard. I kind of see motherfuckers trying that, right? And they're gonna find Carmine and the goons ready to beat them the fuck down, or maybe right, or maybe not. Maybe Carmine and the goons are gonna have to reevaluate if they're actually worth being, because we pay them real fucking well.
Yes, 100% that. And I think to expand off that idea comes the next thing, and this is going to be the real important bit. I had one of the most disappointing experiences that same night, and you might have seen some of it, Manx. Now, I want to make this very clear because I don't want to paint the picture inappropriately. Chatterbox is a, you know, crazy guy, right? Him and I got some shit, whatever. He goes and threatens me with Ember, right? Whatever. Like, you know, that's going to be lighthearted, whatever. You know what I mean? That shit's never going to be serious between us. But, you know, Ember ends up finding me at the court center. Ember is a Looney Tune, right? She's missing brain cells, right? And long story short, she was planning on Molotoving me in the court center, right? And so I call mall security. They don't know what the fuck to do. Obviously, Carmine, he's not like detaining her. He's not like the synapses in his mind, like he's not able to switch, right? Like there's enough information there that it's a credible threat. You fucking search the motherfucker, right? If someone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't fucking know. Or like at least get her the fuck out of here. But instead it took like 20 minutes for them to even do anything. And that included her running over one of the mall cops, hiding all her Molotovs in her vehicle. And there wasn't a sense of like, if this fucking psycho goes in like Molotovs, the court center, these people may not come back, right? Like, you know.
I would ask, is there legislation in the works that
well, I'm gonna get to that.
Establishes the authority?
And that's where I'm gonna get to. Is it was bad enough that I ended up calling the marshals. And I'm like, yo, I need someone to go help you. But they stood around. And it was a very awkward position because I'm standing there like, do these cops not recognize that there's a threat for someone to like mass kill a bunch of like actual civilians? And they're standing there with their thumb in their ass because there's no dispatch call. Like, it was genuinely the most disheartening moment I've had in a minute. Where I'm like, I have to teach them. Oh my God. Like, I don't even know how to put it into words. Now,
we might need a cash exchange at courts in order for the police to actually show up in court.
Yeah, well, they showed up. I want to explain how detailed this was. I get a threat. That from Chatterbox. He tells me who it is. He tells me he's sending her. She finds me. She's like she's you know, like literally nothing. Like, I don't know. It was fucking insane. My point here is that we may need to actually consider arming mall security, because I don't think the cops can be trusted to actually protect the center. To the extent that I had McNulty say he doesn't have jurisdiction. Like, I didn't know that it was fucking retarded. Like, they got no problem coming down and chasing pings down here. Well, all of a sudden it's a court center and they don't have jurisdiction. Like, are they retarded? Like, it was like surprising.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, how do they not have jurisdiction?
I don't know. I don't know.
No sense.
Like the one time you're gonna talk about jurisdiction is when there's 50 fucking civilians inside.
It sounds a little like malicious compliance, but they are not actually complying.
Yeah.
That sounds so odd. Like, what about the court center makes it so you question jurisdiction?
There isn't, right? Like it's almost some like retarded petty shit over the jurisdiction things on the back of 50 civilians. Like it's crazy. I don't know. Regardless of what their positions were, they were just standing there. You know what I mean? And I then by myself, I called up Danger. I'm like, yo, search around if she drops some mollies over here, because there's no fucking shot she came here empty-handed. Because Chatterbox told me straight up, she's coming to find you and she's gonna molly the place, right? I find the vehicle that had the mollies with blood still on the ground where she ran over a mall security person. So,
I will say,
yeah.
Esteemed Chief of Security, Mr. Carmine, he has informed us guards that we are able to use the first 2 levels of the Force Matrix at the moment. And that is our presence, which is, I would say, relatively good, or it has been in the soft openings, and the second is verbal. But that leaves a lot of room for criminals at the moment to kind of do whatever they want if they do not want to listen.
I am contemplating that we have a wing of mall security that is trained to use police equipment.
I can see it. I remember when we spoke about this last time.
I don't know if we're actually going to do that.
If people
I'm really playing into Nino being absolutely livid.
Things, right? You got the Collins taste, all that. They're gonna make them a target, right? Very valid. I'm just gonna keep it straight with you. There's no market for PD equipment. It's not a thing. Like maybe if you give Carmine some shiny new AR or pump shotgun, that maybe. But nobody gives a fuck about his PD pistol. At best case, they want his badge, right?
Yeah.
So, in having that argument, right, if you had to take this and argue this, to the DOJ or whatever the fuck, people are going to come and commit, do these things at the court center, irregardless. It will continue happening if people are there, just like fucking water's wet. And if the PD has any questions or concerns or hesitations, who else is going to do it? The city needs this. This is almost like, in another time we do some civilian militia to defend our little village, right? Because, our fucking lord won't do it. Like, it's either that or we just get pillaged and plundered and we have nothing and we die. Like, that's
exactly. Exactly that. Like, I'm genuinely shocked that there isn't enough basic understanding that when there is threats of violence, that you gotta take against non-local civilians, that you probably should be taking the threat very... Most of them are actually full-blown civilians. Like, if you look around the court center that day, like these, some of these people are probably only around because it's like this is their moment. You know what I mean?
100%. Look at Seth. Majority of my noodle workers, right? I know all their backgrounds. I know what they've been doing. Majority of them are like the straight and narrow, right? No blemishes, no nothing. All of the only discernible criminal I can remember there was Billy and Mr. Luciano. Other than that, I feel like majority of those people were kind of, at the very least, not open-ended criminals, Yeah. Why the fuck should they be defenseless?
I'm very much so in the boat of, we see how fucking much of a mess it is over there every day. Like, I'll be honest, like you could probably back me up on this. Like, you go in there, you pretty much go and get food as quick as you can because you're shit scared you could get taken hostage. Yeah. And then it's like, you don't have any time to actually sit there, speak to people. You get food, and you fucking bounce off though, because you don't want to spend the next fucking 15 minutes with your hands up going, fucking fearing for your life. So I feel like we don't want to be in the same spot again with senior bands as we are with courts. And
that's exactly it.
If we don't, push down on it and make sure everyone's looked after there, then it'll just be another case of senior bands.
Part of what I'm thinking is passing an update on the court center that any violence that you're caught with on the court center, at least at present, is going to be like 300 months, $500,000. What do you think?
Was that actually deter the clowns?
I want to hear from Manx.
I think that the months, I think like a big fine, I think like 200K, because you like, it's gonna happen, and you don't want to antagonize people, because the only thing that I see going wrong is, for some reason or another, I end up in the court center committing an act of violence, but it isn't targeted at the court center, right?
True.
And then all of a sudden, I'm being punished severely. And, you know, I'm a level-headed person. You know, I don't hold grudges like that, but not everybody is. And not everybody has to. I just feel like maybe, like, common knowledge that the court center is not to be fucked with, but not too crazy that, for God forbid, you have no choice, right? Like, it's your last-ditch effort.
Right.
Lives are on the line. You end up there, you live, but now you're $2 million in debt. Who are you going to blame? The PD and the mayor, or the PD and the court center, you know, like whoever the fuck it is. And I'll tell you what, Nino and his goons, even if they're armed, are a lot easier to get a get back on than 40 police officers with assault rifles. I can tell you that from experience.
Yeah.
I do like the idea. I think that is a good idea, just mediated, because you don't want... I don't know how I would feel if I, for some reason, was forced to be at the court center in a bad situation. Or, God forbid, I had to act at the court center, right, as, you know, to defend myself, and then end up getting slapped with violence at the court center. That's another... What if, you know, for example, Mr. Mayor, someone came and threw a Molotov at you and I shot them, and then I get... You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of thing, too. People can be acting in good faith and get fucked on like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to paint the reality. I don't think any serious gang is going to fuck with the court center.
I don't either, to be honest. It's just...
But it's kind of
really
crazy, the one-off shit. I don't know. Maybe we cook on this a little bit. There's no good solution yet, too, because also arming mall security could just mean that PD is going to find reasons to farm them. PD has been... Turner's going to need a lot more time to iron out some of the problems. You know what I mean? But that switch is going to take months. You know what I mean?
To be fair, I am a liability with a handgun. I will say that. But
I mean, it's not even just handgun. You know, taser, cuffs, baton. Even that is a huge deterrent. For me.
I kind of agree with that.
A lasso.
Yeah, like I think we're all relatively in the same boat of it's gotta fucking be that harsh, whether it's the fines and or what these mall cops are allowed to use, because I think otherwise shit's just gonna fucking go all pear-shaped, and then all the hard work that everyone's put into courts is just gonna go up the wall. And then, you know, I think this is sort of the last push that we're all putting in to actually give Los Santos this place where people can come and actually speak to other human beings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, Nino, I think short term, if Turner's going to take a while, and I think honestly, you try and get the.
I'm being sort of like realistic with. I will say where I want to be. I want to be a bit more like explicit with what I mean with Turner. Right? Is I wish I had him months ago, because. Holy fuck, he's been doing work, but knowing what it takes for like a altering mentality over a big department, it realistically takes at least 3 months, right? It probably takes at least a month to observe, going into the second month, better observation, tuning, right? And then the third month is when you really start to see like the fruits of like the labor start paying off. But it is that we have two dials. One is give more to the mall cops, putting them more at risk and possibly increasing violence, right? Well, and the second is turning up a slider on like punishments through legislation. The third option is that I go molly the fucking Chatterbox's house.
And you start a blood vendetta that your grandchildren's grandchildren were being plagued by.
Yeah. I think maybe we don't use this one-off situation to make any decisions here, right? But I want us to kind of like think on this a bit, right? Because I don't think we're going to come up with a good decision now. And I would want Jason to be a part of it. But I wanted you guys to be appraised of like... an issue that we probably need to start thinking about a resolution for in the next week or so, like these what-if scenarios.
What about, this is a bit of a long shot and a bit of a curveball, what about every time you come into courts, there's a no weapons rule or something along those lines? I think that could sort a lot of issues out, because I think realistically, the majority of people on there are going to be armed, and it's just going to cause more and more chaos. So whether it's it is very unlikely for us to get what's it called? You know when you go into City Hall and you go through the gates and all your shit gets taken off you. That's very unlikely to happen, isn't it?
Those are coming into play. I'm gonna you know what? I'm going to re-engage with the chief architect.
Okay. Because honestly, I think that would solve a lot of the issues, in my opinion.
No, I agree. The thing is, right? Senior Buns, like Junior said, from the civilian perspective, is a place you don't want to loot. It's a bad part of town, right? We're in Little Seoul. This is a nice part of town. That is a really bad place to be. It is a place where it is checked regularly for people to be taken and used against their will. And like the workers in there, the only way that I deter the workers being taken advantage of and taken hostage is we have like a very firm policy, me and my friends. And anybody that takes them hostage, it's a one warning policy and that's it. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter what the situation is. We had somebody take a worker out of that booth while signed in, drag them up to prison, make them sign in and grab their DOC keys to uncuff one of their gang members.
Shut the fuck up. No way.
We spoke to him and he said, no, we had no choice. We had no choice. We tried getting DOC. All the cops were riding doubled up. And I said, hey, listen, bro, just don't be shit. Hey, not my fucking problem.
I'm sorry. Wait, who was it?
Hey, bygones be bygones. It was dope. But
wait, Vagos?
That type of no, not Vagos. I said bygones be bygones.
Oh, bygones be bygones. Yeah.
Like it is what it is. But it's that type of shit happening at the court center is a no-go. And you talk to like gangbangers about it, and they said like, oh, they're just noodle workers. They're just noodle workers. They're not even in the gang. And it's like, bro, do you understand how hard these people work in the dog shit environment that they're in? And
it's
none of them, and I can tell you, not one of them has ever said to me,
no
it's okay,
way!
I don't mind.
They took someone that works DOC, made him sign in to take
provide something
keys.
for the city. We can't have them being taken advantage of. Like it's not a. That's the one thing that can't happen in the court center. Like the people getting into shootings.
I'm sorry,
there,
you got me
Molotov
cooked. You got me fucked up right now.
Yeah, you like the DOC shit? I wasn't
no
happy,
way.
I was not happy.
No way.
I was not happy.
And it was probably like fast, not like some like planned shit,
I don't know what it was, but no one was happy. I'm not gonna lie. Like none of us were fucking happy. About that. So yeah, I think we should at very least, if we get the metal detectors,
motherfucker, that's crazy.
Because that's what you're gonna get more of. The one-offs are always gonna happen. Make it life in prison, and they'll still happen. But as long as we can keep people safe in the confines of the courts, that's like the most important thing. So anything to get that done.
It's gangsta as fuck. No, it literally isn't.
I would say sometimes DOC leadership does make interesting decisions, and it sounds like one there. One time when I was working over at Abracadabra, I was taken hostage, and the criminals, once they found out I worked at DOC, gave me a bunch of fentanyl pills to hand out to the lifers. When I spoke to DOC leadership, they just told me to eat the fentanyl pills myself. So I spent 2 weeks in my basement. I couldn't even climb up the stairs of my own house.
I feel like if there's a lot of like RP behind it, like like sure, but at face value, that's not.
I think the only other alternative to making sure people don't bring in guns is that you have to get searched every time you come into courts, which is
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. So I think
because the thing is that doesn't mitigate the gun drawn, hop in the car, right? And
true.
That hasn't happened at courts yet, but I promise if it becomes bustling, they're like sharks. You know what I mean? Like we need a hostage now, and it might even be serious.
I think that I'd like to think that most gangs respect me enough to know that I'm going to literally cut everything off if something like that happened, right?
And I think that's fair, but the thing is, this is something that needs to be long lasting, right? You said it yourself, like you're not going to be there forever. If it's only because now Nino's gone, and the guardian deity of the court center's gone, like it needs to be concrete.
That you make a really good. Yeah, you're right, and I think that's why we need I'm gonna re-engage with the chief architect, see if some of that can come into place. I wanna. If there's one thing I can leave at the end of my term, it's enough of a is how long can I keep foundation for civilians, right? And I'm not talking record shit, right? Like I don't that shit is stupid. But like I mean a place where they can actually feel valued. You know what I mean? So I want to move on to the next topic here, unless there's anything else we want to kick on. I think we're exhausted that conversation. Yeah, I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna hit him up and hopefully I'll hear back in a day or two. Gayge, I would like you to be the executive manager of the hot dog stand.
Wunderbar.
Yeah.
Gayge's Glizzies, here we come.
Well, no, it's gonna be called Los Santos Hot Dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Legally, but in my mind at least.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. I wanted to see, number one, are you down to take on the task? And
absolutely, yeah. I can,
okay.
I can do anything possible.
Beautiful. I'm gonna give just very high level expectations, and I'm gonna always keep it just at high level expectations. And then you know how you decide on beyond that is sort of up to you. I would like a manager for the 3 shifts and a co-manager of their choosing, with the expectation that that place ideally is running 24/7. We're not going to get there right away, but that should be kind of, let's say, the goal, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I think I mean we have already discussed all of the intricacies, right? You know where the trouble will be, and Jason has been amazing. She has already found 3 people who are interested in working there, and that is the hardest part. It's just finding
very
those
good
people, keeping it open. So I
Junior's
think,
also got someone as well, so I'll leave it to you to evaluate them, etc., etc. The second thing is, I would like that on a weekly basis we try to get at least a hot dog swapped in that is representative of someone prominent in the city. When I mean prominent, it doesn't mean like stature or whatever, but like sort of like making that dog about them. And Michael can do the cooking on the dog. You know what I mean? So
perfect. I love the idea.
Yeah. So
I like it too. We're starting up a plushie line at Big Dog Noodles, and the original ones are like me and the head managers and Rissa, and then how we're doing the consecutive ones is it's going to be like a priority system of like the highest ranking people, right, that have been there the longest, who are actually here, but we're making like our employee of the week, regardless of how long they've been there, like a stepping stone to be like, hey, you were here for February, the first 2 weeks, you're now in the second set, right? Not because, you know, I have 10 workers that don't work anymore, I'll give them the thing because they were here first. Because you were here in February, like now you get to be in the second collection. And that type of stuff I think goes a long way to helping people feel recognized. Because I can't give them a house, I can't give them more money, I can give them titles, but in reality the titles are all just our own little social construct, right? Like I can't give them It's a dead-end booth that is exactly the same as the day I walked into it fucking 7 months ago. It looks the exact same. You know, like the only thing different is the people and the food. So I think that type of stuff, yeah, weekly dog would go crazy.
I agree. Absolutely. And if possible, we can do more. You know, it's sort of Michael, we'll see whatever Michael can do. So we'll have some even set up like in advance. So the rotating, believe it or not, is actually really easy. Especially because we got Junior. You can just approve all that shit.
Yeah, I can just literally drop me a message and get that shit approved. Are we looking to with that kitchen, you know, do what, you know, the Welsh Dragon do with Big Dog and, you know, let people use the stall as well? Or
yes,
is it very much so? Yeah,
it will be. I'm gonna let Gayge kind of handle some of that. They need to be on our email chain, number one. Number two, have their own like email channel, and like, you know, we'll handle it as best as we can. But we're only going to currently take on who we've currently accepted taking on, so that we don't break the backs of, you know, the farmers and whatever, because I don't know what the throughput is going to look like yet. You know what I mean?
If,
Like, I don't want to pre-plan too much on the ghost kitchen before our main business is running. Otherwise, you know, the stall is going to be closed all day.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think, sorry, I wasn't listening super well to that, but if you're going to let people use it, option is always to just let them provide their own food, because a lot of people can do that. I don't provide food for people in the booth. We used to for one group, but like, it's too much load on the people that are already breaking their backs, like you said. Yeah,
exactly that. It's like, there's like, for a lot of ghost kitchens, they may just see, I don't know the specifics of it, right? We're gonna, I think Gayge, once we get ingredients going in there and shit, we'll probably have a better idea on timing. But yeah, exactly what you said is like, that might, maybe they're only doing like 10 minutes of like pressing buttons in there. And now with the ghost kitchen, it might turn into 30. And it's like, you know, I don't want them to burn out if it becomes too much.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. People get very, very pressed and upset about the stock in the fridge. I can tell you that from experience. People will fucking make 20 meals. They'll all get sold in one sale. Someone will come back in, see them gone, and not be happy that they're sold. They'll be fucking pissed that they, you know what I mean? They got to cook. Like it's a troublesome, very troublesome ecosystem, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So ghost kitchens soon, TM. I'd say after we're successfully at least running the stall for, let's say, a week, so we understand the workload first.
I hate to bring it up again, Nino, but with the ghost kitchen, I think a massive thing for people who are looking to get make their own businesses outside of senior buns is having fridges which you can actually plug in. And
that's, listen, brother, trust me, it's on the list, but been on the list for 4 months.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
I just want to
Opal, I'll call you right back.
Sounds good, sir.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Anything else we want to discuss? I don't want to keep you guys here all tsunami. I can do that, but...
See, one thing on my mind then is often the first question from potential new employees is pay. I know
it's going to be a clock-in system. I forgot what number we agreed on. We agreed on a number, and I think... I just don't remember what it was. I would ask in the Discordia.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah. But...
For reference, you know, just, you know, for market research for you guys,
I think we matched you.
Yeah, I'm about to say I didn't want. I think we matched Big Dog because we didn't want to go above or go below. We just said,
hey, I'll just tell you this right now. A game is game. If you guys need to go above to keep that place alive, you should do it.
Yeah. No, 100.
I'm just gonna. We are maybe gonna raise the pay to 5K, just because I'm earning enough now that I can justify.
Yeah.
But you should pay people as much as you fucking can and keep the business alive, because a lot of the workers will be motivated to be there by the money alone. And for every 5 workers that are money oriented, there's one person that now has 5 friends that uses that space to become more comfortable. And then maybe, you know, the 5 people leave, but one of them stays. And now you've got 2 hardworking workers, right? Like, you really need to cultivate it, because it is probably one of the most miserable places to be in the city alone. You know, no customers, no nothing. No one can last there for longer than, like, you know, a month, right? It's just... Yeah, as much as you can pay, you should.
I think it's about building that atmosphere, right? That like positive atmosphere. I think it's going to be crucial to get things moving.
And like, don't listen to what any of the other booths say. Listen. None of the other booths have an opinion that's valid, even mine. Like, don't listen to any of them. Like, oh, you're paying too much. Fuck them. Fuck them. They can talk all they want. All they've done is complain about what we've done. You know, not all of them, not all the time, but a lot of the time. And where are all the other booths? You know, so you should just have that same.
I 100% agree.
For the right reason.
I would like to match with you guys, at least for the foreseeable future. If you guys get to 5, we'll do 5. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just start with 5.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
I think you should.
Let's start with 5. 5K an hour. They got to use a clock-in system.
Absolutely. I will get any new employee signed up on in the email chain, and we'll be good to go.
All right.
Nino,
gentlemen,
my question to you: how are you paying them? How are you paying them?
It's going to be a mix of sales plus county backlog.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank fuck you can have someone do that for you.
Yeah.
Because just between us, when you take that money out at the end of the week, it's all in cash.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yep.
Yep.
And also, paying people is the worst part of about my job because I can't relegate it. Like, I have access to the bank, so I have to do it. But I mean, I'm so happy that you can get someone else to do that shit, or multiple people even, because it is the worst part of my job by far. I hate paying people. It's awful.
Is it only the owner can pull the cash?
Yeah, it's only the I have to do the same.
Yeah, only the owner can pull the cash, and like only the owner has access to the business bank account, right? So it's double pronged. I have to pull it out and then sit there like a fucking idiot and pay 30 people.
Oh my
week.
God.
Yeah. And if I go to prison or whatever, I have to send fucking letters.
No,
to the
I'm gonna
family
give
being
someone
like,
I'm gonna get you Los Santos hot dog. Can you put a thing in for it, Gage?
Oh, I think it is Chavez's corn dogs now, not Gage's glizzies.
I mean, if you want to avoid doing that, Nino, you could just set them up with a business account and just put like $1 million in it, and then just do it that way, I guess. I mean, it's not gonna hurt, is it?
How are you doing veggies, Gage? Like, how are you getting the food?
So I am the owner of one farm, and we have a couple of other people interested in potentially supplying us as well. To be honest, I would prefer to divide and conquer. I am not a big fan of one person doing many jobs, so I have a couple of conversations coming up in the near future.
Good. Do you know roughly how much you're gonna pay per veggie? I know this is like fucking micromanaging, but I'm curious.
My numbers at the moment are probably pretty dated, but I know a couple of folks that I trust to give me more up-to-date numbers to make sure it is fair.
Do you like? Let me look at something.
I can shoot you a text with a picture of the prices that I have at the moment, and you can kind of tell me if I'm super far off base.
Yeah. You should do that. My number will be in the lemon list.
Perfect.
And again, none of this stuff I give a fuck about for anything other than, like, I don't care if you guys take over and Big Dog Noodles crumbles. Hey, fair game.
No.
Sure you have the best leg up.
We generally, I want Los Santos hot dog to be like effectively a backup, and I want the other stalls to actually succeed, and this is going to be how do I put it? Like a jumping pad to make sure that happens. You know what I mean? A mix of market research
sure.
and whatnot. Because
I just think that that's some like pessimistic shit that I was saying, but I'll give you guys all the information I have on the things that I've learned. And the one people you can't be underpaying is the farmers, right? The workers are one thing, but the farmers is a whole nother beast.
Oh, I believe it. That shit looks shit.
Oh, it's awful.
I could never imagine how bad farming must be, or how bad it might have been a year ago before it got 10 times easier.
Listen, all I'm saying is there's only a few things that I won't do for the people around me, and one of them is farming. Absolutely not. Like, kick me out the gang, take the business away from me. I'm not doing it. No matter what you force me, I'm not doing it. There's no way.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. All right, boys, I need to break from this. Otherwise, I'm going to hit the, you know what I mean? I got, is there anything we want to hit on? I can leave you guys to it, but I'm hitting that point where, like, my brain can't process anymore.
No, I think we're good. I have a lot of shit I need to get, so I'm happy stopping here.
All right, easy.
Good to go.
Hey, I appreciate you guys.
Text me anything you need, all right?
Good work, everybody. Honestly, these are the gears that make the city tick. You know what I mean? And
100%. And I'm happy to be a part of it, and I'm very happy to see that we're getting somewhere. Thank fuck.
Hell yeah.
Some progressive good news.
But I think, like, there's been like a lot of fucking bumps in the road, but I feel like they got hopefully now a clear road to just fucking smash out the rest of your term, Nino, and we can just fucking end it on a high. Do you know what I mean?
Hell fucking yeah. All right. All right, boys. You stay safe.
I'll see you soon.
Gage, whenever you're ready, just let me know, yeah? When you want to hit the on button.
Gage, one person, I don't know.
I'm gonna leave you guys to it, yeah?
All right. Appreciate you, Nino.
Absolutely.
Ciao, ciao.